Welcome back to Jades Corner. In today's video, we're going to settle the score and decide who would win in a fight to the death between the demonic old one, Illyria, and the original hybrid, Klaus Mikaelson. These two powerful combatants from Angel and the originals possess powers and abilities that will make a fight to the death between them one of the most interesting fights on the channel I've done thus far. These two will fight at their absolute peaks, which means they'll be fighting in their most powerful states, though I'll be touching on their lowest points for comparison's sake. So join me as we break down the battle between these two characters regarding strength and skill, speed, agility, durability, endurance, combat experience, and hacks. But of course, before we begin this fight to the death, if you're new here, subscribe, hit that like button, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date on all things fantasy, supernatural, or monsters, including these thrilling battles. Let's see who wins this battle between the old one and the original hybrid.
The world's fiercest fighters await. Will you be the last warrior standing? It's survival of the fittest on a global scale. Who among the challengers will make it to the top?
I'm ready to begin.
You're the hybrid.
You've heard of me. Fantastic. Who's next?
It's pretty safe to say that Illyria completely outclasses Klaus in strength by a very significant margin. Her strength in the full scope of it is limitless and unknown, and as an old one in her universe, her strength is regarded as tremendous and is referred to as being godly. Even in her human shell, she was able to outclass and overpower both Angel and Spike at the same time, and was able to throw a car several meters in the air casually. Spike compares getting punched by her to being the same as getting hit by a full-speed Mack truck, which would make her striking power far greater than Klaus's by default. At her most powerful, which is in her natural form, she is a massive genderless cephalopod-like creature that is similar to Cthulhu, with an incalculable size and numerous tentacles, as well as having every power of hers intact to their fullest potential. She would scale to low multiversal levels of power. At least she's virtually impossible to fight, as she was powerful enough to deem all of existence an annoyance and was close to destroying all of it. Luckily for the Buffyverse though, Angel and his team prevented this and managed to return her back to her human state. In her human shell, where she overtook Winifred's body, she's at least at a lowball small town level, which also far surpasses anything Klaus has done to properly scale him accurately. At her weakest, which is when she had her powers drained to her due to her human form being too weak to hold all of her true power, she still scales to Klaus, Marcel, and the other originals, who all casually scale around small building level on a regular basis. As for Klaus, I've covered his feats several times on the channel, so I'm gonna make this very quick and short. He's simply outclassed here in every way, and the only other way he could even sniff being able to take on Illyria head on is when she's at her weakest state, which I just discussed previously. Outside of her being weakened, she can wipe the floor with him in every other state of power that she possesses, and in her most powerful form, which is her true form, it's a bit overkill in my opinion, so Illyria dominates the strength category. Although both Klaus and Illyria are very skilled combatants, Illyria outclasses Klaus in skill, as she's as old as the earth itself and has mastered very ancient fighting techniques that Spike was able to identify and compare to Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Her strength combined with her agility makes her very dangerous and a nearly unbeatable combatant. Klaus is also a very skilled fighter, but we're comparing over 1,000 years of building enough fighting skills compared to millions if not billions of years, all of which is retained by Illyria because her memories remain intact as far back as the Primordium Age, when she and all the other old ones ruled over the earth. Klaus is also a skilled swordsman, which wouldn't help him in this case either, seeing as Illyria is very well equipped to deal with a swordsman, as she fought both Angel and Spike at the same time, who were both just as proficient as Klaus in this aspect, and she absolutely dominated them. Illyria dominates the skill category. Vampires, and in particular the originals in Klaus's universe, scale to some of the most powerful vampires in the Buffyverse, which include Angel and Spike. Klaus scales to hypersonic levels of speed, and not only in travel speed, but he can also use a fraction of his speed to help him in combat as well. This, however, again, is not enough to deal with somebody who has the reaction time. Of a being such as Illyria. She was able to react to every single one of Angel and Spike's attacks gracefully and without much effort. Although her reaction time is far greater than Klaus's, I'm still going to give him speed simply because overall he can maneuver himself way faster than she can on average, and his speed may be able to catch her off guard sometimes during their fight. Klaus takes the speed category. Klaus, in my opinion, uses his agility far better than Illyria does, simply due to the fact that he can utilize it in conjunction with his speed. Illyria is very close when it comes to being agile though, as she utilizes it almost as well as Klaus does. The slight edge though goes to Klaus here in agility. Klaus and Illyria are susceptible to being damaged, but there's a clear advantage here in Illyria's favor. Her skin was a hardened shell, providing her superhuman durability far greater than Klaus could ever imagine. Even before gaining an armor, she was capable of withstanding blows from forged weapons such as swords and axes. Wesley hit her over the head with an axe and it smashed to pieces while she barely flinched. A whole lot of bullets would be needed to temporarily incapacitate her. However, Illyria was seen withstanding bullets shot from a SWAT team without being affected by it. Illyria was also hit by a moving car, which did massive damage to her upon impact. And while Illyria's body barely recoiled, she was also unharmed by a truck being thrown at her, which is just absolutely insane. Her invulnerability was extremely powerful, that even in her diminished state, Illyria was able to withstand a powerful blast of fire fired to her by a dragon named Cordelia, named obviously after the character Cordelia, who on the rare occasion she was wounded, Illyria could instantly regenerate all sustained damage, and as one of the most powerful old ones, Illyria could never be completely destroyed. Even if her body were to perish, her essence would live on, and she could always find ways to come back into being, whether that be through a host or other means. Klaus, however, is susceptible to damage and sustains a lot of it throughout most of his fights, but the only true way to kill him is with a white oak stake, and Illyria doesn't need to do this, as she's powerful enough and has enough abilities to do with him as she pleases and can dispose of him in several different ways. Illyria destroys the durability section. As mentioned in previous battles, Klaus's stamina is very high. He took on 12 newly created hybrids and killed them without being winded, took on Marcel's army, and at the end of the fight he showed no signs of fatigue. These are of course feats I've mentioned in previous versus battles that I've done with Klaus, so if you want to see me explain those in depth, go watch those previous battles. I'll link some of them in the comments and the description below. Illyria in her human state also has equal stamina to Klaus, but in her primordial form, her stamina should scale to universal plus levels. As with all her true powers, they're pretty much equal to each other. So Illyria takes the stamina category by far. Illyria takes this, and it's not even close or worth discussing for more than 5 seconds. Again, not worth discussing. Illyria takes this category yet again. This is the category that solidifies Illyria's win more than all the others, as her powers overwhelmingly are too much for Klaus to handle. Illyria's powers include time manipulation. She can control time, travel back and forward in time, slow it down, or stop it completely while remaining at her normal speed. She has enhanced senses. She's able to spot demons upwards to 3 miles down a road in darkened conditions just perfectly fine. She told Angel that she was so powerful that the land itself could do her bidding, and she was able to command a volcano to erupt on the spot in order to kill the land and all its inhabitants, which is insane. She has plant manipulation. She's able to communicate and control plants. She has teleportation. She was able to teleport Buffy Summers to her location in Los Angeles from the middle of a fight in San Francisco. She then teleported herself and Buffy to the Slayers Council. She has energy projection. She can fire powerful blasts of blue energy that can burn vampires and also damage creatures with pure magic, such as the creatures in Magic Town as seen in the comics, which are of course canon as mentioned in the Angel and Spike video I did a couple of months ago. She has telekinesis. She had the power to move beings and objects with her mind, and similar to Willow, she used this power combined with her godly powers of energy projection to lift a demon up in the air when she returned to the Primordium Age with Angel when she traveled back in time. She can also travel to different dimensions, and she can also create portals. She opens a portal in Angel and she's able to walk through it to another dimension. She has information analysis, which means she has some degree of heightened awareness, given how she can distinguish humans or primitives from demons, vampires, and other creatures. And Wesley also hypothesized at one point that Illyria was counting oxygen molecules, which is just insane, and that's a pretty crazy statement, I'm not gonna lie. She can time travel. She can travel back and forth in time as she pleases, as mentioned before, to any point in history. She has social influencing, which means she can convince people of whatever she wants them to know. She has extrasensory perception, which means she can sense ripples in time, and she can sense the presence of powerful beings. She has force field creation, which means she can create force fields. She has size manipulation. She can pretty much shapeshift into any size that she wants. And she also has precognition, as she's able to see into the future, though how far into the future is unknown to me. The only useful ability Klaus has at his disposal is his mind compulsion, which means he can control an individual to do their bidding, which means he can control an individual to do his bidding after making eye contact. And other original vampires, of course, are capable of compelling other vampires as well, including Klaus. It might be able to work on Illyria, but since she's a demon overtaking a human host, it might not work, but there's a high chance that it will. And even then, he would have to get close and in her face for it to work effectively. So yeah, in my opinion, Illyria takes the hacks category. All right, so for the winner and loser of this fight, the winner is of course Illyria, who wins by low difficulty, and the loser unfortunately is Klaus Mikaelson. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, as it helps this video perform better in the algorithm and reach more people. Comment your thoughts on this video below. I go through all the comments, so any feedback is appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider making today that day. And when you subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell icon and set those notifications to all so that you never miss a future video. Also, don't forget to join my Discord server linked below. I reveal a lot of stuff about upcoming projects and upcoming videos I'm working on my Discord, so please join the Discord server. We're trying to get the members up to at least over 100 people in there. We're about at like 40-50-ish people, so if you could join, there's no additional cost, it's free to join, so might as well hit that link in the description and in the comments. All my socials and merch store are also linked in the description below as well, including the link to my Patreon, which is home to my book series True Alpha, which officially returns after a year hiatus on August 23rd with chapter 13, Cold Blooded. And until next time, this is Jades Corner signing off. Peace. And now a sneak peek and tease for the next Fantasy Fights video.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Get the fuck away!